Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome all to this.
Second session.
We started. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Welcome you all to this second session. We have been listening to Arun Sharma ji. Hope you all have enjoyed the first session, and you all know about something about you have learned something about the elimination, and most importantly through the intestines. Now we shall focus upon the second eliminatory channel, that is the urinary system. Ji Namaste. And as of urinary system is concerned, how would you like to promote the elimination for a normal man first through urinary system?
First of all, depending upon the quality of food that we eat, that food can create more urine or less urine, and depending upon the toxins available in that food. Some food has got more water, and that's why more urine may come out. But not all the water is eliminated, because water is also an essential part of the body. Some water will be absorbed by the body, and whatever is extra, that will be eliminated. And in the process of elimination of water through urine, we have to see so many other factors. That there are some foods which has got some toxins which has to be filtered in the kidney. And when the process of filtering is taking place, sometimes it happens that they are too toxic to deal with, and the kidney usually gets affected. And in due course, the urinary process itself is disturbed. Either you have irritation in the urinary tract, or you have scanty urine passage, or you have too liberal, in the other extreme of too much of urine coming out. There are both possible. Then there is another habit of human beings which is related to this. Many people are advised to drink a lot of water. Drink 2 liters of water, some people say 8 glasses of water, and unless you drink a lot of water, your system will not be cleaned. So your body needs a lot of water, and that's how they advise people. In our system, we don't advise that. Unless, of course, if the person is not following health rules, that is a very good guideline to drink a lot of water and adjust their lifestyle. What I'm talking about lifestyle is, when we cook food, many people normally add salt and cook the food. When you add the salt during cooking, you get thirsty. And eating foods which have been cooked with salt, when the sodium is cooked, then it becomes concentrated, and sodium has an affinity for water, and it demands more and more water. For such persons, it's okay to drink a lot of water, because the body will dissolve the extra salt or extra disturbance in the body and can adjust. Whereas a simpler solution for this problem is to add the salt after cooking. Don't cook the salt. Don't cook the salt. Don't cook the salt. We tell people repeatedly, if they cook the salt, they are getting into problem. If they don't cook the salt, they cook only the food and they add salt in the end. It does not get impregnated into the vegetables or the cereals or pulses. So we don't get so thirsty. People who have been drinking a lot of water every day, they come to our nature cure camps and eat foods which we prepare for them. We make only one cooked meal in a day. That's for their dinner. For the rest of the day, we have salad, vegetable salad without any salt. And we have one kind of fruits in the morning for breakfast that also doesn't need any salt. By eating such foods, they get plenty of water, good quality of water, and they don't feel thirsty. That's a wonderful thing. They have been carrying big bottles of water all the time in their life, drinking water and water and water again. But when they come to the camp, in third day itself, they realize they have not been drinking water at all. Why is this? Is it good for the body? Oh, they need a lot of water, people say. They get all the requirements of water through the food. When they eat fruits, Some fruits have 85 to 90% of water, and that water is a better quality water than the water which you are drinking. Maybe the best company is manufacturing the water, it's still not as good as the water from the fruits or vegetables. When you take pure water from that fruits, your body requirements are fully fulfilled. Supposing you are eating 500 grams of fruit, the added advantage is that your fecal matter is not even 100 grams, less than 100 grams of fecal matter. In regular practice of eating, we find if a person is eating 500 grams of a food in breakfast, his feces is 400 grams. Only 100 grams is absorbed by the body, or sometimes even not that. So you're not eating food, not earning money to make a lot of feces and make the toilet rich. You are wanting to make yourself rich. Your body has a healthy body. So we don't need so much of cereals and so much salt in our system. And people who add salt during cooking, they drink a lot of water, and this water will be a load on the kidney. Too much water has to be filtered down, and this kidney is crying, why don't you give me something to filter? You're giving me only water, and I'm having to bear all this. Don't put any more water. Kidney keeps crying. We don't listen to it.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
And whenever we eat foods which are not salted during cooking, we don't feel thirsty, and our requirement of water is met through the fruits and raw vegetables. And evening also food which is full of boiled vegetables and very little grains. That should be our lifestyle. And if we do that, then urinary problems will never arise. Most of the problems when people get kidney problems, the medical advice is to take low potassium food. Don't take foods which has potassium in it, and they advise you to take foods with more sodium, and they even give saline water injection. Whereas in nature cure, a totally different approach. All the foods that we prescribe is full of potassium. Ash goat juice, full of potassium. Bananas and fruits, whatever you prescribe. Cucumber. Oh my God! Don't give that. They will say.
Nariyal pani.
Nariyal pani,
Common.
full of potassium. So whatever we prescribe is a no-no for the medical treatment. So whenever a person is halfway gone through the medical treatment, never accept them for nature cure treatment, because they will suffer too much.
Okay.
So before they go to medical treatment, if they come to you, you can treat them completely with raw vegetables and fruits. That's all. All the potassium you want you can give without any fear, because it comes from natural foods. It has got life in it. Body knows how much to take and how much not to take. We don't have to be the judges. How do you determine how much potassium should be there, how much sodium should be there? You are taking an average study of average people. Average people are not healthy. Data collected from unhealthy people cannot be helpful data. That's our goal. When we talk about kidney problem, we also have to talk about further treatment that's being done by medical treatment. We see most of the people who have initial kidney problem, they go for dialysis. This dialysis machine makes them believe that it does everything that the kidney is supposed to do. People don't realize that kidney has more things to do than just to filter the food, water. Kidney has a number of things to do which the dialysis machine cannot do. If you leave the kidney to work, if there is a problem in the kidney, give it a rest, give it an opportunity, give it proper materials to repair itself. It will repair and work better.
Yes. Before moving into this diseased part, let us understand further fundamentals from you. Again, in the traditional practice, we say that Usha Panam is one important practice.
Beautiful.
So, there again, the quantum of water utilized and why that water alone in the morning and how it assists in the elimination. I would request you to highlight upon on those.
It is not the quality of water and it is not the quantity of water. But more importantly, is the way we drink the water comes into play. So, what is the way to drink water? Our ancient Indian cultural practices tell us to take achamana. Achamana is take small drops of water, hold it in the mouth for some time, chant the names of God or don't chant it, just hold it in the mouth, then swallow it. When we do this, it has a different effect on the body than just drinking a lot of water. You take Ushapanam or anything, the best of water cannot be useful unless you hold it in the mouth for some time and then swallow. That's a more important part of the whole discipline. And there are people who take water made by their own Vedic systems of purification. That's called Hamsodakam. This process consists of four steps. First step is aeration. That's pour water from one height to another pot, from this
Oh,
pot to this pot. Repeatedly they pour it. So bubbles come out and they throw out some toxic gases. Next step is to filter the water and put it in a broad mouthed pot or a glass jug, and expose it to sunlight.
oh,
Minimum of 3 hours of exposure to sunlight. And then what they do, they take the water and again filter it and put it in a earthen pot.
oh.
In the earthen pot, you put some tulsi leaves or some rose petals. Make sure that the rose petals are not sprayed with medicines. If such a rose petal grown in your own house, you can use those rose petals to put it in the water overnight. And in the morning, take out the leaves or the rose petals and throw it away. In Tamil Nadu, they have got vetiver. In North India, they got khaskhas. All those roots are also very good smelling. You can put cardamom skin, any one of them. Don't put a concoction of all these things and say you have got a formula. No, don't do that. Have one flavor and put some material, and don't eat the tulsi leaves, don't eat the rose petals after soaking it in the water. It absorbs toxins and you throw the leaves away. The water absorbs the fragrance of the leaf and it smells good, tastes good, and that water is called Hamsodakam.
Beautiful, sir. Now, as you have been telling that storing of water, you have very specifically mentioned the earthenware. But of late now we find many metal containers. More specific to state that now this using of copper vessels are widely marketed of late. What should be your comment upon this?
Our body does not use organic materials, inorganic chemicals. Like copper is inorganic, or any other metal is inorganic. Body uses no, uses only materials that's organic. So we would say the earthen part is also advantageous in making the air flow in and out and make the water keep the water cool, and that's an added advantage. And the air passing in and out also removes some toxins and makes the water even purer. So these are so many advantages of taking water from an earthen pot. Of course, there are some metals which are safe. Maybe some stainless steel does not absorb all the metallic stuff from the water in the water. So those are possibilities. Not everybody gets to reach earthen pot.
Now, the another important aspect, what we would like to hear from you is that boiling the water
Yes.
before consumption. Now, what should be your stand on this?
The concept is even water has life.
Hmm. True.
Apsume somo abravit antar vishwani bheshajam. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Water is universal medicine, and that has got life. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, chapter 7, verse 4, it says, Aham rasoham apso kaunteya. Rasoham means I am the taste in the water. Water on its own has a taste, and that which Krishna says, I am the taste means the godliness or the life in the water, that is more important than boiling the water. Why do they boil water? They think there are bacteria in the water that may be harmful, so if you boil it, it becomes safe. That's a common thinking.
Yes. Very
But they do not think drinking the dead bodies of bacteria is safe or unsafe. They don't think on that side. Oh, dead bodies, they cannot do anything. They're dead bodies anyway.
mm,
But dead bodies are foul, fecal matter. It's not supposed to be consumed. Live bacteria are actually more safe and helpful for us. And we should not kill the water. That becomes a dead water. When we are taking fresh water which has got its own taste, that's live water. It's,
then how
it's
do
not the
we?
food in your life, the life in the food that matters.
Fine. So the concept is very beautiful,
Hmm.
but still that purified water concept, how do we inculcate in the regular practice when we say purified? Now, the source of water of late may not be trustworthy.
Yes,
In
correct.
such case, what should be your advice?
See, normally when we drink water only when we speak too much, or when we take food which is where the salt has been cooked, we need more and more water.
Mm.
In our normal diet, we don't eat cooked food at all for 2 meals. One meal we eat cooked food, even there we add the salt only after cooking is done, when it's taken out from the fire. So it doesn't impregnate the vegetables and we don't feel thirsty at all. Water is to be drunk only when you are thirsty. If you're not thirsty, don't. There is no purpose of putting a lot of water into the body and make the kidney overwork. When you overwork the kidney, kidneys work for less number of years in your life than necessary. So using every part of the body sparingly is important for us. Unless it's necessary, don't put water into your body. If you feel thirsty, yes. But where do you feel thirst? Not in the stomach, not in the intestine. You feel thirsty in the throat. And have a little water, hold it in the mouth for a long time, swallow it. With very little water, your thirst is quenched. And we don't need to put our system loading with too much water. And all those people who advocate drinking a lot of water, you will invariably find them having a pot belly. And people who don't practice that way, their belly is not fat, that it's slim and nice. It's a practically visible example.
Nice. Now coming to one specific condition, some, especially men, they suffer from frequent urination
Yes.
as they grow old, and it's one of the commonest of late we see. Almost 90% of the men suffer from this issue.
Yeah.
In such case, now as we are speaking about water drinking, how shall we correlate and what should be the solution from your
All
perspective?
those people who keep urinating a lot, if you trace back their habits, they are drinking a lot of water. And that can be changed by adding the salt after cooking. And whenever they want to drink water, ask them to take a sip, hold the water in the mouth, and quench the thirst with few drops of water, and they will not have this problem at all. And added, so many other things are going along with it because you asked this question, very important question. Kidney work is shared by the skin. And if you don't have exercise, lot of exercise, you don't perspire. And if you don't perspire, you're putting all the load on the kidney. And if you perspire, half the load of the kidney is taken away. And some people, they have men particularly, they have an organ called prostate. And this prostate is between the urinary tract and the colon. And it's its own wish whether to push the colon or the urinary tract. It's not a wish, it's a condition which enhances its moving towards the kidney or towards the urinary tract or towards the colon. When it settles down in near the colon, urine is too much. When it settles down this side, bowel movements is free. If there is pressure in the bowel and it is pressing the urinary tract, because of the pressure in the bowel, gas pressure or even fecal matter pressure, then urine, scanty urine is experienced. People are not able to urinate frequently. They have pain in the bladder. They have formed the urine, but it's not coming out. All kinds of problems come to them. So the prostate problem can be solved by eliminating constipation. By giving them to some toners, the colon tract is cleared up and there is no more gas there, no more pressure on the prostate, and your urinary tract is also good, colon is also good. Prostate health is re-established.
Yeah, a different perspective. Beautiful, but fine. Now, anyway, whether we like or not, the incidence of chronic renal failure is more of late,
Yeah.
and public they become a victim, I would say, for the conventional therapies, as we said,
Yeah.
dialysis and other stuff. So, can we have a transition from from the conventional therapies to nature cure, or if so, what procedure they should adopt for?
Very, very important question for people to hear. If you have gone to dialysis, don't come to nature care. If you have not done dialysis, try only nature cure. We can help you.
Very good.
Because that's a big, big difference. Once you've gone to dialysis, don't disturb those patients. Not for your safety, but for their own safety also. Because the prescription given by allopaths is that no potassium, excess sodium. In nature cure, it's totally opposite. Plenty of potassium and no sodium. And the results are excellent. If they have not done dialysis, comfortably you can take such cases and they are treated back to normalcy within few weeks.
Mm,
That's not one or two cases. Hundreds of cases have proved that one.
okay. Uh, like as we have been speaking about this end stage of diseases like chronic renal failure, we have come across the same people suffering from skin issues also.
Yes.
Like at one end, they are advised to go for dialysis, but people are in a dilemma whether to go or not. But more than elimination through the kidneys, now they face some problem with the skin, most predominantly itching. Now, how do we address this, and how can we take them back to these naturopathy therapies?
Very good question because it's both kidney and skin work hand in hand like brothers. In summer, the perspiration takes more predominance and gives some rest to the kidneys. And in winter, the kidneys overwork and the skin gets to rest. So, this adjustment, they know how to do it. But we don't know, and we end up in a lot of problems, particularly when a person's skin health is very bad. It goes on getting worse and it gets eczema patches, and if you continue with medication it becomes psoriasis. Psoriasis is like an elder brother to eczema. And during psoriasis what happens is thick patches form in the skin and they become like a permanent feature of that person. There was a person who had psoriasis and was in a dark room for 16 years. Torture. And after midnight, he tries to take some air and walk out for a short distance. Within the short distance, if somebody looks at him, says like that, when by just looking at him, it's horrible. Head to foot, thick patches of psoriasis and cut places, and where fluid keeps oozing, shining in the night light. And such a person will suffer immensely.
Mhm.
So, such a problem he was suffering for 16 years. And when he came to Nature Cure, he asked me what is the mode of treatment. I told him sunbath. He says, no, 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 I cannot take sunbath. When sunlight touches my skin, fluid oozes and burns my skin. I cannot take it.
Mm,
So we devised a method where he could have sunbath, he will not have any
mm,
problem.
mm,
What was that? A big tub
mm,
filled with water. We put him in the water, up to the neck, head was in the shade,
mm,
and put a wet cloth on the head.
mm,
And he was getting full sunlight on his body, but no burning sensation because he
wow.
was underwater.
Mm, mm, mm.
Necessity is the mother of invention. When there was a necessity, we had to invent this method, and it worked wonderful.
Oh.
Every day after the immersion bath, he'll be taken inside. Well, the moment he comes out of the tub, we
Mm,
pour 2, 3 buckets of water over him to wash off whatever is on his body. And then when he comes in, we can't wipe his body. We have to dab the towel carefully so it doesn't burn or irritate his skin. So, and then he will lie on a bed of paper. News, big papers will be there. He will be lying on it, and we have a cup with coconut oil, and we put a cotton in it and wipe his body
mm,
softly. When we are wiping his body softly, so much scales will fall every day. From head to foot, scales are falling.
mm,
We collect it and put it in a paper bag and put that paper bag in another paper bag and the third bag. We
mm,
tie it up and take it down because we live downstairs. My wife says, don't let any scales fall in my food. It's very bad.
mm.
So we had to take extra care. And all my attendants will say, we don't want to deal with that patient. Even if you dismiss us, we don't care. So I had to take care of the patient myself.
Mm.
So after doing this paper bag, we dig a pit, put it in, burn it, and then cover it with mud. That much care we had to take. And every day we used to send him letters. He used to receive letters from my friends
Mm.
who will encourage him. He was
Mm.
all the time tensed about his condition.
Mm.
He cannot see anybody. He's the most unfortunate person in the world, and he can never get well. These are his thoughts. You see that tree
Mm.
with so much of gaps in between and patches? That was his skin. Horrible looking thing.
Mm.
And can you show that tree for a little while in your finished? So whenever you see a tree with so many patches in the skin, you
Mm.
can imagine what is psoriasis, how bad it is. And that person giving so much scales falling every day was receiving letters from my friends encouraging him, keep it up, you will get well, and he was getting so much happiness. In the treatment, this part is very, very important to keep up his spirit. If he loses spirit, oh, when will I get back? I will not get well. Even this tried, I have tried. That disappointment will spoil the progress. So we have to keep him in good spirit all the time. We used to sing for him, and he was a good singer, but he stopped singing since he got this sickness. And we encouraged him to sing, and then gradually he came out to sing. He was Mr. Jacob, 74-year-old man who
Mhm.
was suffering for 16 years of psoriasis. In 29th day of his treatment, what was his treatment? Sunbath, tona in the morning, tona in the afternoon, tona in the evening, and twice each session. And then his food was coconut water in the morning, coconut water in the afternoon, coconut water in the evening. Nothing other than plain tender coconut water. That's all he ate. And he never felt weakness. Taking this tender coconut water, people will think, oh, he didn't have food, he'll feel weakness. Not at all. Not only in his case, every case of treatment, patients who were treated with coconut water, the coconut water has protein, fat, carbohydrate, minerals, vitamins, everything. It's a complete food. People don't get weak at all. And after the 29th day, there was no scales falling. Yay!
Nice.
That he had a clean, silky skin all over. He cried and cried and cried. He said, even my wife has not served me as much as you have served me.
Mm.
I am so grateful, he said. I mean, when they feel gratified, we get the feast from there right away. That's our best feast.
Mm.
People who are suffering immensely and they get well and they thank you. It's a wonderful feast. We enjoyed it all over. Thank you for all the talks, and we had a good discussion, I think.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.